I'll train her out to spin fire. The NFT and LLSL. Diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From mint coins to tokens. He's got all the intel. Web3 is a tree. Show you where to excel. He's got the insights like a digital magician, unveiling secrets of the blockchain with precision. Wild stories from the web, he's always in the know. Crypto community, vibing where the treasures flow. Web3 wonders.
Mega GMs, guys, welcome to the Swarm Report. Well, very spicy Wednesday to you all. Wow, dude. You've probably seen the timeline. Well, maybe you're watching this because you're not keeping up on the latest happenings out in the world of crypto. And if that's the case, oh, man. Yeah, we got a real spicy one for you today. Binance FUD all over the timeline. Maybe it's a matter of time. And I'll tell you this. Maybe consensus on crypto Twitter right now is wrong, but a lot of FUD about Binance right now and about their listing practices after, I'd say this, like a reputable builder came out and pointed the finger at those listing practices. Dude, it's spicy. And I have thoughts. I got thoughts about it. In fact, as I'm reading a lot of the takes out there from across crypto Twitter, the biggest names out there are all chiming in here, from projects to community members, builders, founders, everybody's weighing in. And I'm realizing more and more that people only have a take when a take is like established for them. Really weird. Really weird. I don't know. I think there's a lot of like people too afraid to voice their opinions. And that's me sometimes too. It's silly. I'm probably going to go against the grain on the Binance FUD out there. Their practices or let me save this for when we get to the segment here. Let's do some proper GMs here. Join good morning, and Cats, good morning. We're live in the usual spots, fam. Live on Abstract. Actually, almost live on Abstract. Little weird tech issues getting live over there. Should be live in a minute there. But we're live on X. And of course, we're live on YouTube. Hit the like wherever you're watching. Man, it really helps. Really helps. Algo's still tricky, by the way. It's maybe improved a little bit, like a little bit. They keep tweaking the X algorithm as they get it powered by Grok, by AI. But it's not where it needs to be, and it does keep changing. And I still see people voicing that out there, that it's hard to get any kind of traction. It's not great, but likes on the show helps a ton. In fact, I'm going to like the show myself, and I'm going to retweet it. But yeah, hit like wherever you're watching. Come over to YouTube, subscribe over here. As I've been saying here, and I'll say it every day leading up, some rebranding, some changes coming, including where this show streams. It'll always stream here on YouTube, always here. But on X, it may not stream on the Swarm account. Instead, it might be streaming over on the SlamAI account. So I'm going to put up all those socials just to make sure you guys are following along. Boom, there we go. Throw some love on that tweet right there. Guys, you can follow me at Hudah_idiot. Way more important than that, make sure you're following SlamAI_XYZ. That's the big one. You pay attention there. Really fun stuff. I mentioned a couple days ago, I got my hands on I think I can say it, whatever, the Slam terminal. It's really cool. Now I'm using it together, and I'll be using it on stream. In fact, I think we'll all be using it a lot. But I'm using it as I'm browsing like Dex Screener, and I'm researching a token, and I can ask it questions about the transactions I'm seeing, which is it was such a missing piece, or much needed piece, right? To get that natural language, to be able to talk through transactions and talk through token volume and talk through top movers and top losers and try to get that edge and get it on the spot. And so for me, it's a game changer already, and will only keep growing. So I'm excited to get that in people's hands and more. There's a lot coming. Can't wait. Drop King, good morning. Alizar, good morning. Of course, follow the Swarm_XY. The Swarm_AI. There we go. Boom. There's going to be a different purpose for that account too. So you'll still see the swarm. In fact, I can spill the beans. We don't have a ton watching. He'll end up tweeting and being more automated and still co-pilot cooking and just a lot coming, guys. I'm excited for it. All right, today we're going to talk market. We're going to put some time on the Binance narrative, FUD, whatever. I'm going to take Binance. I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to take Binance aside on this thing. We'll talk some virtuals, of course. Look at those AI tokens, creator bid, NFT market. Really getting to be an interesting time in NFTs right now. I'm excited. I hope you guys feel what I'm feeling, which is like a little bubbling up, a little calm before the storm, a little like something. You feel the energy coming. You do. I hope you do. I certainly do. Now we have the end of the OpenSea farming. I think chests start opening. Someone's probably going to have to help me on this part. Maybe there is no date, but chests maybe start opening today. The end of farming to level up your chest ends. But do you crack them open today? Start getting into those rewards. There's 3 crypto punks. There's millions of dollars worth of tokens. There's I think there's like $10 to $15 million worth of rewards that are going out, which is wild. So like NFTs looking pretty interesting all of a sudden here. Hey, we got Luna joining. Good morning, man. Picasso's here. Good morning, sir. Dude, real cool. Yeah, look, Lighter was talked about yesterday on Thread Guy. I'm seeing a lot of, Lighter is really turning into something, and more, and that does tie into the Binance FUD here. Interesting, and we'll talk Grover too. Yeah, I don't know. We touched on it yesterday. I don't know how I feel about that one, but other than like, I root for everybody. So there we go. All right, let's get into the market. And it looked like we were on our way to a little bit of a recovery and kind of hanging around. Like market's looking a little better today. We'll at least say that. Well, was. Say was. You see Bitcoin at 111. We'll take it. ETH over 4K. Again, we'll take it. BNB. Now, this is what I really want to keep my eye on BNB. I really do, because we might see a tangible impact from what's going on out there. It's pretty big with the names that are talking about Binance and not. I'll tell you, there's not as many people backing Binance right now. I'm really curious about this. Right now at 1169. Will it get back to all-time high? I'm sure it will. I think Binance is going to be just fine, but we'll get to that conversation. Ripple at 249, Solana 202. Looking okay. We're looking okay. I think everybody's just bored. I think when people get bored, it's just you need something to do, and everybody's just talking. Quickly, let's look at the ETFs from yesterday. Starting with Bitcoin, 102 million inflows. Nothing crazy. Actually, kind of lighter day, but we'll take it on that side rather than seeing outflows. Now, on the ETH side, much better day. 236 million inflows. Good stuff there. And over on Solana's 12.3 million outflows yesterday. Wow. Yeah, that might be a top 5 day for outflows on Solana ETFs. If this went back further, we could check for sure, but at least the most outflows we've seen in weeks. But 12.3, we don't usually get in a double digit, millions in inflows or outflows. Well, it's not true, but it's a big day outflows. Maybe I'll go back later and get that official number. But okay, we're watching. Dude, why are we not live on Abstract? Hang on, guys. Drives me nuts. Like nothing changes day to day. It's just sometimes it goes live and sometimes it doesn't. Also, when ABS token stimmy? It's coming. All right, so we've been tracking that Bitcoin whale, right? The guy, the insider. Come on, the guy who opened up those shorts last week seemed to have insider info. Seemed to. Hoods, good morning, man. Closed his positions. Great. Maybe a good sign that he also was tipped off some new news. Maybe that up only's coming again. Maybe. Except he's back to opening up these shorts. Is this on Hyperliquid again? I think that's Hyperliquid, right? Yeah, I believe so. Anyway, back to opening up shorts. Are we out of the woods? Is this guy even an insider? I don't know if he's an insider, to be honest. I don't know if he is trading like this. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. I don't think we know. Maybe we'll find out. I'm going to keep up on that other guy who's breaking that, insider info scoop, but interesting. Guys, I remain, look, I know some people are saying end of the cycles here. I saw Kook say, we are at the end of the cycle. I like Kook. I love Kook's takes. I'm going to bring up one of Kook's takes here. People saying we're at the end of the cycle. That doesn't mean we're not going to see a Bitcoin all-time high, but whatever that next all-time high is, when we get to 140, a lot of people pulling back their predictions now. No, not a lot of people calling for 200, calling for more like 140 now. I still like Kookland. I'll always like Kook. I like him. I do. Nobody's perfect, right? But calling for 140, I'm there with him. I could see us topping out at 140. I could see it, but saying that that's the end, blow off top there, and then whatever, we scramble for new narratives, but then we don't see a higher Bitcoin high this cycle. I don't think I'm with him. I think there's just too many signs that this is going to continue. I mean it. Even something like this, just showing how much the crypto space has grown, how much more active we are. This is interesting. Last Friday, and this is on, our record liquidation day, but total U.S. options volume, a record high there, 108 million contracts on Friday. Huge. Just shows man, just the amount. Hang on. Kook told you it was too late on lighter. That's a good point. Kook did say it's too late to start farming lighter. He did. You're right. No, Luna, you're right. Again, I don't think everything he says is right, but I like him. I think he's a smart guy. Just to show, guys, it is very active here right now. It just happens to maybe not be in the things we're in and trading. Some, right? But it felt different last cycle for us because we were in the thing that was so hyper active. And maybe we're not in it now, but just be aware that around us, very active, a lot of trading, a lot of money. All-time high. We had Jerome Powell speaking yesterday. I completely forgot, right? He spoke at 12:30-ish Eastern time. We were hoping he was going to make some comments on the economy. Actually, was the point of his speech, or at least part of it. And he did. He actually did, saying that we may be approaching the end of balance sheet contraction. Means it's rate cuts. It's different ways of stimulating the economy. It means, guys, very likely it's up only time. At least the setup is there for it. It's coming. And we still have the biggest catalyst coming. We have the biggest catalyst coming still, which is, what do you guys have for the biggest catalyst? Like TGEs, right? Airdrops, stimmies, right? Catalyst, right? What do you guys think is the biggest catalyst? It's something we've been hearing about for a year now, and we've not seen any progress on it. If you guys had to pick the number one catalyst to get this market moving, what would it be? I'm going to go with Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, because I think when that's officially funded, it's kind of established, right? It's in this kind of gray area, middle area. But when it's officially funded is when I'm hoping we get okay, well, Luna, there you go. Actually, funny enough, the dollar is doing the opposite of crashing now. The dollar's actually stabilizing and actually getting a little stronger, which isn't great. Funny enough, that's happening right now, which is it's actually really bad for us here in crypto. But the dollar's actually looking like it bottomed, which isn't great. We'll see if this changes things. We'll see. But yeah, strategic reserve. Thinking that is what leads us to like the Bitcoin arms race. We were hoping that was a thing. We were hoping it made sense. Still could be a thing. Still, I believe, might be a thing at some point. But to me, one of the biggest catalysts we have coming. Oh, well, hang on. I think top isn't in until saying it's the top will get you burned. That's fair. It's fair, DK. But we did. Hey, this might be part of our Bitcoin strategic reserve. This is actually huge. $15 billion worth of Bitcoin was seized. One of the biggest financial fraud takedowns ever. I think it was the biggest Bitcoin seizure ever. Massive amount of money. Now that Bitcoin, actually, I probably, if I could find the tweet, I'll bring it up here now. I might have to dig, so I don't want to. But this is going to probably the strategic reserve, $15 billion worth of Bitcoin on top of what we had before. I think we're up to like 37, let's say $40 billion worth of Bitcoin the U.S. government holds. What's interesting is there was another wallet. It was so interesting. Excuse me. There's another wallet that was reported that the U.S. has custody over its assets. But you know what? I want to see if I can find it, guys, because it's worth it. Hang on, let me find it. What it looks like is the U.S. government cracked someone's seed phrase, got their Bitcoin. It was, I need to pull it up to do this justice, but Zach XBT commented on this, and I thought it was pretty spicy. I don't know if you guys saw this. Hang on. Should be easy to find. I think Tyler had tweeted this out. Here we go. Should have had that bookmarked anyways, but I don't want to spoil anything coming up. Hang on, let's get this right. Here we go. Okay. Tyler's saying, not gonna lie, I didn't have the US government building its strategic Bitcoin reserve via strategic hacking. So, cool story. There's a wallet listed that's in the U.S. government custody, or listed that it was seized. $14 billion. Part of what? Not Silk Road, Milky Sad report. I don't know what all this is. But anyway, it sounds like we cracked the private keys. The U.S. government did. And that's how we got custody of it. So the U.S. government hacking. I dig it. Appreciate that, man. Mickey, it's just a song I made with Suno, right? It's just AI. I made it with AI, so you won't find it anywhere. I'll send you a link if you want. If you DM me on X, I'll send you a link to it. But yeah, just whip that up with Suno, like a year ago or something? Yes, sir. By the way, Mickey, good to see you, man. Good morning. Yeah, dude. We got some prediction market news today, too. Yeah, dude, they're fun. Everyone's going to play them. Everyone. My goal still is to get my wife to trade on a prediction market. People need fun. Dude, another point, I wish I saved the tweet, but I saw a pretty big trader out there saying he's out of funds. It's a big point right here. People don't get spendy unless they know money's coming. Like, we probably got our last reserves, right? And like, I can't spend it till I'm really sure I got a win coming, right? We get there. That's a sign for me. When you're tapped out, I'm like, if I'm tapped out, I'm pretty sure other people are tapped out too. And a lot of people are tapped out from what happened Friday, for sure. But this trader said, all I got left is my punk. I got nothing else to trade. So praying the punk goes up, it will. But yeah, people need fun money to spend on crypto markets, lower rates, stimmies. And yes, dude, a lot to get political, but MGT, MTG, whatever her name is, talking about, we're talking about what Trump says all the time, economy's looking great. Out of touch much? Price is still astronomical. Everybody I know is struggling. Everybody. We even saw a poll come out yesterday, I believe it was, saying that 75% of investors here in the States do not own any crypto. So the number has actually gone up. Or I should say less people are holding crypto now, right? It is a sign that people are running out of funds. Only way you'll do prediction markets is for an airdrop. Yeah, the making money on the market. I mean, we're going off on tangents everywhere today, I guess. But making money on prediction markets. Look, you can say it's easy. You could say maybe the wins aren't as big, and it all depends on the market too. But I still say investing in infrastructure is going to be a play that's coming up that's going to be huge. And I'll keep pointing you guys back to our upcoming Slam launch, because that's exactly the kind of thing I believe it's going to power. So it's a great take, Cats. You don't have to like it. It's a great take. It is. But Binance, boys. First off, Binance looking to make things right from last week. Like, guys, part of the big liquidation that happened last week, guys, is things broke. It wasn't just people selling off because they were spooked, which that happened. It happened. People were spooked. They dumped their stuff. It happened. Guys like Thread Guy, who came out, he sold $250,000 worth of pump as we're dumping. Just that happened across the board. Everybody, maybe not everybody, but that's how it works. People panic sell. It happened. But what we really saw was the Binance platform very specifically had some issues there with their pricing oracle and market makers getting out of the markets and this big cascading effect. That's what happened. Other platforms had issues too. I think Lighter had some issues, right? Right. Other platforms had some issues. I think Lighter had some issues, and we know Backpack had issues, and we know Aster had issues. People trying to either people were trying to trade and their stop losses weren't working, or they couldn't get their purchase orders. Binance trying to make this right, reimbursing people $283 million, an airdrop coming as well. They're trying to help. They're trying to help. Good for them. They're going to need it right now. And I wonder if this is a sign of that conversation that's going on out there. 21, almost 22 billion in outflows from Binance in the past, week? Somebody put out a chart showing it too. Are people taking their money out of Binance? They might be. And why? Let's get to the why. This does kind of touch on prediction markets too, kind of in a way. Okay, you got CJ here, who is the founder, I believe, of Limitless. Great platform on Base. Coming out and saying that he spoke to Binance and to get their token, right? We just saw their pre-sale happen on Cato. Massive. It was huge. Huge. To get listed on Binance, they need to give 1% of their token supply for an airdrop. That's on Binance Alpha. So, right, token holders there, I believe, is how it works. Get an airdrop. 3% of the token supply for further airdrops. Another 1% for marketing, that Binance will do the marketing. What is this? 100% of TVL for token pool on Pancake Swap. Okay. $250,000 security deposit. 3% of the supply for BNB holder, for a BNB holder program. $200,000 for altogether, it's like 10% of the token supply, maybe a little less. But let's just say, dude, Luna's awesome. I love this guy. You have to give up about 10% of your token supply to get listed on Binance. And this is what kicked off the FUD, is this post right here. This is not something that's new. It's not something people are surprised about. This conversation, we've known about this for a long time. But CZ responded, man. He responded because the post got a little traction, right? Limitless is getting, a lot of people are interested in it now, right? A lot of eyes on it. So this got a lot of attention. CZ responded. Now, there's some, this wasn't great. CJ said that CZ had him blocked. Was it in this post or something else? There's a few posts about this, but saying that CZ has him blocked, and he didn't. Either CJ made up the screenshot or somebody else sent it to him. I don't know what's the truth there. Or maybe CZ's lying. I don't think he is. But he wasn't blocked. He ended up muting him at this point instead. But all of a sudden, you've got a big base founder versus CZ all over token listing fees, which isn't great because there's a lot of people here that have a lot of evidence that those fees are exactly like CJ was saying. Right? But this got so hot that Binance responded, not on the main account, but on their customer support account, saying they're aware of the post. They're calling the allegations false and defamatory. Crazy, because I think they're true. Designed to mislead the community and attack the integrity of Binance's listing process. I think it's all true, though. We'll get to why. But Binance is coming out saying they don't profit from the listing process. The allocations are for Binance users. That might be true. I think this is one of those cases where both sides are right and both sides are wrong. It's just different parts. And it's all how you look at it. Maybe the Binance team itself, let's just say Binance as a company, doesn't profit from it. It's hard to picture. It's kind of hard to picture. Binance doesn't charge listing fees. Also hard to understand that when I think we all know that they do. Someone around Binance does charge a listing fee. Someone does. And there are cases, and this is really important, there's a lot of cases where there's no fees. There's a lot of cases with no fees. If you're a hot token, no fees. CJ's allegations are contradicted by the alleged Binance proposed terms that he himself published. Okay. Next, the allegations that Binance and its founders have been dumping tokens is also entirely untrue. We've seen Marty Party talking about this too. A lot of people have been pointing the finger at Binance. Now, they do it if they do it. Now, I'm not saying they are because I have no idea. I have no idea. I would hope they're not. But there's a lot of people who put together a lot of details showing that if it's not them, it's maybe their market maker, primary, maybe it's Wintermute. That might happen. I have no proof. But there's things that I look at and they make sense when somebody else presents it. I don't just blanket trust it. I don't know. What I believe is somebody should be looking into this. We're also surprised by CJ's illegal and other unauthorized disclosure of confidential communications with Binance. Gets interesting because apparently there is no NDA. And a lot of people pointing out contradictions in that post itself. I love bold, by the way, but false allegations, but also disclosure of confidential communications. And you have names that everybody here is probably familiar with. Leonidas saying Binance 100% charges to get projects listed. He knows because he's tried to get dog listed. He knows. Like I'm saying, there might be somebody surrounding Binance. Like, is it team members? Is it advisors who work on their behalf and are taking these payments? Like, don't know. But CZ elaborating even more on popular opinion. This is where I really agree with the guy, by the way, on listing fees. If you're a project complaining about listing airdrops or fees to users, don't pay it. Just don't pay it. If your project's strong, exchanges will race to list your coin. Yes, Binance does that too. If you have a really hot token, they're going to list it. If you have to beg an exchange to list them, ask yourself who's providing value to whom. Making a case for why there's fees. That he's saying there aren't fees, but if there were fees, that would be why. And I agree with him. The value is being listed on Binance. You pay for that. If you're complaining about a competitor exchange listing fee, then by all means, list there or make your own listing fee, like whatever, right? I am with him here. I'm totally with CZ here. I think they should be charging. I think. It's hard. Who can even have a take? This space doesn't make sense. They should charge, I think. If you're a bag holder of a coin, complain to the project, not the exchange, or use a DEX. This is the best takeaway here. Use a DEX. This is why DEXs are so important. Like, they're essential. Because otherwise, we have all this stuff happening off-chain that we have no idea what's happening, and we don't know what's truth. And isn't that the point of using these on-chain tools and platforms, to have transparency? That's the beautiful freaking vision we were sold on. Also saying Pancake Swap doesn't have a listing fee. What else does he have for us? Listing everything on every blockchain. Most tokens are scams. Absolutely. Of the real hardworking projects, most fail. Only a few succeed. We know that's true. Now, part of the problem is Binance sometimes seems to list scammy tokens, and maybe it's because they paid. We've seen that. We've seen tokens launch, and then we see a vampire attack. We see a copy. Somebody else launch the same thing, pay the fee, get the Binance listing. It's all a game anyways, but are those scam tokens? Maybe. Selectively list and make listing fee a revenue source. It's fine business model if you can attract enough projects to list. Again, I think it's totally fine. Selectively list. Ask for airdrops for users, security deposits to make scams and failed projects more expensive to pull off. See, I can't. Harder to agree here because the scammy ones, well, that scamming is an art, and some guys are very good at it, and they got the money to pay for this to then make sure their scam is successful. And they can use a platform like Binance to make sure their scam is successful. But he's right. It's not black and white. There is no set rule. There's no best way to do it. You have to use your best judgment. And for now, you got to trust that Binance is doing that. Man, am I crazy for saying I kind of still do trust them? And also saying it should be looked at. We're talking about so much money here, so much money that actually caused that record high liquidation. It should be looked into. Farouk even saying it's the right take here. Dig it. Now there's takes there's just so many. There's so many good takes. Okay, you have Mert. You guys, I mean, this is where we start getting into the big names really weighing in here. It's a big story, and I do think there's going to be consequences. I do think this will unfold in I hope, a meaningful way. Mert calling him out for threatening. I mean, they kind of threatened CJ, right? When they say he's making false statements and defamatory. Interesting. Telling people to get your funds out of Binance. Interesting. Watching to see if people do that. Gainsey piling on too. Binance going out of its way to bully a founder. It probably it might have been a mistake to address that post from CJ, maybe, because this is really loud now. Again, more Binance showing, yeah, right, nukes the market. That happened on Binance. It did. Then attacking builders. DeFi is the solution. It is. And we need it more than ever. What really got my attention, actually, if anything escalated this, out of all the tweets, it might have been this tweet from Victor here, who protocol specialist is Coinbase. And you got a Coinbase employee also weighing in. Do you really want courts looking into your listing process and comms? Again, coming from an employee at Coinbase, I think too, let me go back. I think you even had Jesse weighing in as well. Pretty darn sure. Dude, tab hell, huh? Yeah, here we go. Jesse from Base. At least backing up CJ saying he's a legit builder and he's frustrated he needs to give up, 10% of his token supply to be listed on exchange. Feels like we can do better. I'm with him. With this part. I feel like there's a way we can do better. That simple, right? I think Coinbase is going the opposite direction. Everything gets listed, including scam tokens, and then there'll be a process to unlist the scam tokens. We'll find out if that's better. Don't know if it's better. I don't, because if like CZ is saying, most tokens are scams. And even the good ones, most of them aren't going to make it. So is it better to just list everything? Or is it better to try to curate them like Binance is doing? It almost feels like the best answer is do it like Binance is doing, but it can't just be purely money. Pay the fee you're in. There's got to be some manual vetting process. But now you have Toast, who is formerly at Coinbase too. Kind of the way he worded it's kind of funny, but I think he's saying ultimately we are going to learn more about what Binance is doing if they're doing something shady. And it does feel this big, right? It's a fight for the viability of the industry. It does. It is. How dangerous are these centralized exchanges that we don't have any visibility into and are so powerful, dude? Like so powerful. DEXs are really, really important here. And it's why I think they'll win in the end. I mean, reality is I think it's big enough where everyone wins. But Jesse going further and retweeting CJ. This might have been before, but maybe not. Saying it should cost zero to get listed on an exchange. The exchange makes its money when the token's traded. They don't need that upfront fee. If that fee is only there, that 10% token to reward your base, your holders, and try to gate it a little bit, I don't know if it's having the effect. I get why they had that in place. But yeah, right now, perfect opportunity for the DEXs and other protocols to make their case. And you have Hyperliquid doing exactly that, right? Hyperliquid, no listing fees, no listing department, no gatekeepers. It's permissionless to get listed there. Anyone can deploy an asset, pay a gas fee and hype. It's pretty damn cool. That's the way. Dude, that's the way. We need more of that, more of it. Now, we're getting some older posts coming to light too. Binance employees saying Act didn't pay a fee, Peanut didn't pay a fee. Right. No, they're right. Not everybody pays a fee. But that's probably few. It's the hot coins, the right now coins, the coins that, let's be real. The coins that have mindshare and massive volume, so the platform, so Binance can make money on the trading, they'll get a free listing, of course. They make money from it. Here's where you're starting to see the founders weighing in. So Leonidas behind the dog token on Bitcoin saying Binance co-founders lying. And they're playing word games, right? They're not calling it a listing fee. They're calling it a marketing budget or their holder program. Mike Dudas saying he reached out to dozens of teams. And they're saying the same thing as far as the same requirements. Almost 10% of their token supply to get listed. Across the board, this is the story you're going to hear. You're going to have some other projects saying they're not charged anything, but most people here are agreeing it's a huge fee. Again, Leonidas saying again, they wanted 10% of the supply. If you have a fair launch, I don't know if it was in this post, but if you have a fair launch, you can't do it. You can't pay the fee. You don't have any tokens to give them unless you go buy them yourself. And I think so. Leonidas made a point. He said if Bitcoin launched today, it wouldn't get listed. Well, it would. Well, first off, if it launched today, it wouldn't be Bitcoin. It wouldn't be special. But if Bitcoin launched today, they wouldn't have the money to pay for a listing. Right? He's right. It's kind of a bad example to give too. Who's Deployer? I should probably know Deploy. Maybe, I don't know. Here's Deployer saying, I was told $1 million worth of tokens for airdrop and $1 million for trading comp. And it wouldn't even guarantee a listing. It'd be the first step for Binance Alpha. Again, people are going to come with receipts. They'll come with receipts for it. They do have a listing. So wrapping it up, here's the breakdown. So what are we saying? Like 9% of token supply for listings. Threats against CJ, kind of threats. I mean, I don't think they're going to do anything with it. Well, there we go. Former staff member Amrita reported a colleague for taking bribes to speed up client onboarding in Binance Link. Yeah, here's another. Wintermute accused by Jeffrey Yu of taking 10% of Cerebro's supply for market making. Yeah, there's just, again, we'll get tons of receipts here. And I still kind of lean, I'm on CZ's side. Charge. More people backing up. I don't want to say backing Binance. There are a few. I think Corey's from the World Liberty Financial team here. I think they paid a fee. They were happy to do it. Also, chart looks this way. If we're looking at the, I don't even know. This is the coin. Yeah, World Liberty Financial. Whatever. This is just kind of beating a dead horse at this point. But you do have Binance defenders. I kind of would be a Binance defender. I'd probably put myself in that category. A lot of FUD. Very little. I'll say this: very little supporters. Very few supporters. But this is where I'm really interested. How does it play out? Does Binance end up being this year's FTX or this cycle's FTX? It could. I'd be pretty worried about that. I don't think it plays out that way, but it could. Here's a Curb. Is Curb a dude? Let me see. Does it matter what Curb says? Oh, okay. Maybe. He's predicting how this is going to go down here. Binance domain seized by the FBI, funds frozen, encouraging people to withdraw their funds. Maybe it plays out that way. Maybe it doesn't. I don't think it does. But I do think everything should be looked into after Friday, especially. These were the three coins, by the way, that caused that cascading effect. USDE, what is that? Binance Sol and wrapped Binance ETH. That was the problem. That should be looked into. It should. Probably with Beanie here, mostly, as in not taking a side. I don't think you can. You can question stuff. I think it's great to question stuff, but having a side, no, because I don't think any of the sides are right. I think all the sides are wrong because we're still trying to figure this stuff out. And that's what happens when we don't have when we don't have good enough regulations in place. Somebody though, Beanie saying here, firsthand, he's seen what it's like to try to get an exchange listing. Many great builders never got to see the light of day because gatekeeping at the exchanges. Meanwhile, lots of snake oil salesmen given a free ride. Yeah, not a great, the system doesn't work. And that's not, I don't think it starts with malicious intents, but that does happen. When you're talking big money, that happens. So finding the who's the bad actors, like that part's important. Okay, now we're wrapping this part up, but like, again, I like Kook a lot. And this really got me thinking. I've thought of, ever since Pixel Vault, I was thinking that I was very fuddy with Pixel Vault, but I wasn't very vocal with it. I wasn't loud enough, and I didn't do it often enough. But while the whole space was still cheering on Pixel Vault, at least hoping their bags weren't dead, I felt like one of the only very few people, and I'm sure some people here were there too, but saying this is one of the scammiest things I've seen, and G-Funk should probably be in jail more than a lot of these other projects. And I realized like crypto Twitter are never gonna, man, share their opinions or have opinions till somebody else tells them what the opinion should be. And it even ties into like, look, with the Kong drop, super funny because the site, couldn't keep up with the traffic. Well, it happens with Monad and nobody gives a shit, but Kongs they killed, right? It's wild. But Kook saying 99% of crypto Twitter has no original thoughts, scared to go against the herd. And he's right. Everybody was glazing CZ. CZ was our hero of the cycle. And now when there's FUD, everybody's piling on CZ. Now it's socially acceptable. It's crazy. I don't want to be that dude, I don't. It's kind of why right now I got to go against the herd. I think CZ, I don't think a supervillain. I also don't think, what's his name from FTX, SBF. I don't think he was a supervillain either. I do think he got to I think he did something that got way out of hand and he had to keep some crime going to try to like dig himself out. But it also got me thinking about Pac. Only because Pac started to get mentioned over the past day or so here. And I'm like, man, everybody FUDs Pac. Yeah, dude, Luna, I'm serious. Yeah, dude, I don't know if SBF was like truly supervillain bad guy or if he was not experienced. He was experienced. Don't get me wrong there. He's experienced, but I don't know if he set out with the intention of criming or if he got caught up in his own, high on his own supply kind of thing. And then, oh shit, this is fucked up. I have to keep doing it. So, I can have maybe dig us out and right the ship. Damn, dude. Hey, I mean, that was the outcome of it all. Absolutely. So Luna, what I'm saying is I don't think he set out to do that, right? I don't think his goal was to scam people, crime people, steal their money. I think his goal was to like change the world and crypto was going to change the world and all that stuff. And it got out of hand real quick because his business practices sucked. Good morning, Dad. Okay, now Pac, the artist from NFTs who comes and goes, comes when it's really hot out there. And when it's dead, he's gone. Not a peep from the guy. And his art is, people would say questionable. It's very simple. And I went from liking Pac a lot to then being like everybody else saying he's a scammer because he just doesn't show up. He only shows up when there's money to be made. So I've been one of those guys that said, yeah, he's kind of scammy. And I don't believe that. I actually think it legit artist. I'll say it, legit artist. And what he does is art and part of it's performance art. And I don't want to be that guy that calls Pac a scammer anymore because I don't believe he is. And that came about, this is all random, no bigger point here, but Beeple was tweeting about Pac yesterday, saying he's who kind of brought him into NFTs, and the next copy, chimed in a little too, and Pac isn't back. No. And Hackatel saying they had stories to share about Pac too, and I think they're good stories. But all that stuff, it's just the timing of it, where I'll share my honest thoughts, right? I think Pac's a great artist. A lot. I shouldn't say it, Luna, as he's not a bad guy, because he turned into a bad guy. He evolved into a bad guy. I think the bigger point is I don't think he set out to be a bad guy. If it matters. And actually, it doesn't matter. Your intention doesn't really matter in the end, right? It's what you do. Anyway, officially, I like Pac. He's a great artist. And yeah, I'm not going to call him a scammer because everybody else does. The end. All right, let me kill some of these tabs, dude. This is brutal. This is absolutely brutal. We'll keep updated on what's going on with Binance, man. I don't think that story's over. I don't know if it's going to have any impact on Binance. I don't think I have a side anywhere. It's just the super gray area, and I don't think there's a perfect solution. I'm keeping all these, by the way. I need all these tweets. I don't think there's a right answer or wrong answer. We will find bad actors surrounding it, though, for sure. Just like you will anywhere. But wow, I mean, spicy story. All right, I think that's enough. I think I freed up some memory here. Browser's struggling this morning, man. How are you guys feeling about it? Let me get your guys' takes. CZ bad guy? Or is Binance doing what used to be the right thing and maybe it just doesn't fit now? Yeah, dude, the art's interesting. It's always thought provoking. Luna, that's exactly what I was thinking. Right? Sith Lord, damn, dude. Now, if he's Palpatine, if he's like Palpatine and this is something he's in the shadows, like planning and calculating and manipulating all along the way, that's freaking wild. It could be. It totally could be. But if he's Palpatine, dude, wild. And it absolutely could be. I just wonder if it's more like he's Dooku, kind of Dooku, right? Kind of seduced by the dark side or sees the other side. I don't know. I don't know if we got a perfect analogy here. Who's our Sith Lord that he's a good analogy for? Even Vader might be better. More seduced by it. Yeah, I'll keep thinking of my Sith Lords. See who CZ might be. Or is he Qui-Gon? Is he just a gray Jedi? Maybe Anakin. Yeah, it could be Anakin. Luna, I like that you're a Star Wars dude. I could see Anakin. But I also could see Qui-Gon. Just does what needs to be done, gray. Trying to do the right thing. Or Ahsoka. Ahsoka or Qui-Gon kind of deal. Maybe. A dark version of that, though. All right, let's get to AI stuff here. We got a lot to get to still, man. Yeah, we'll keep checking on the Binance stuff over the next days. I think that's not done with. All right, the AI market, 15.59 bill minus Tether, of course. I just wish they'd remove that, or I wish I had a good understanding of why. Your top agents. Wow. Okay, hang on. So we're at still 8 bill market cap. I'm again subtracting Tether here. AIC is your top coin, followed by Fartcoin, which is up almost 20%. Nice. IRC, Toshi, and Rect. Infrastructure, we've got FET, DCAI, Virtual, back over 500, IOTX, and Open. And then in DeFi, it's Venice, AI Tech, Banker, Cortex, and Olos. And then just a mindshare peak. CXT on top here. Banker, Fartcoin, Elsa, CGBT. All right, I don't think any big surprises anywhere over there. Virtuals. No, I gotta say, still nothing crazy over here. Burnbot's live. No, I'm sorry, Burnbot's live in an hour and a half. This is the Grover token. I'm really curious how this one goes. I'm really curious about this one. In fact, let's peek at the account real quick. So Grover's launching it's essentially a meme coin. Yeah, dude, VPay. I love those guys. I need to get them back on the show. Really like VPay. I'll pull that one up here. Here, let's see. Let's peek at VPay real quick. Wow, that's so cool. I can't remember if I bought some VPay, back whenever. But yeah, VPay looking awesome. Oh, dude, that's a great looking chart too. Really good. They got these cards, debit cards, whatever, right? That you can spend your crypto. Partnering with Darren, cool. They got a bunch of partners. I need to chat with them about getting a Swarm card. Do you remember when they were launching? I'm trying to remember if nobody else. Yeah, okay. If I remember correctly, none of the other shows would have them on. And I wanted them on, right? So we had a cool little bond just because of that. I was happy to have them on. I think they're great guys, which is cool. So he said he's, I don't remember the exact words, but we'll always remember that or whatever. So it's like maybe I call him and say, dude, let's get a Swarm card going, or let's get a Slam card going. Oh, you know what? That's what I'll do. I'm gonna reach out and see if we can get a Slam card at launch. That would be cool. That's right. That was it, cats. I remember very specifically other shows wouldn't have them on because their date came too quickly or something like that. Again, it's okay. I think there's growing pains as people are learning to, content and whatnot. But it sounded interesting. This sounded different. And I think they were good guys. So I was happy to have them on. Respect the hell out of those guys. They're great. Anyway, we got the Grover token, Burnbot coming. I don't have high hopes for it, but also might do well if the market people feel like speculating a little bit. That might be one. Nothing, guys, nothing else. Still Monkey Paw, I think, is kind of cool. But yeah, nothing else. We will get some more launches. I need to get all mine unstaked, dude. I'm so frustrated they're not doing just a quick mass unstake that I still got to wait the 10 days or 14 days. That's frustrating. But anyway, hey, GG to VPay. Like, good on those guys. They are building and they're working and their product's cool. So love that. ATM at 6.4 mil. Dude, this wire token at 10.26. That's going to be, I think everybody can tell that's going to be a special one. Need to get them on the show too, but I think everybody can tell Wire is going to be really special. Like, probably enters the Aristotle territory. Now, in the long run, do we see some of these entering the Tibber territory? I think maybe. And the maybes are maybe some of these three. Like, maybe. Some good stuff. Virtual saying ACP V2 is here. It's look, they're like kind of quality of life updates, but regardless, updates coming, which is great. Over the next few weeks, ramping up onboarding more agent teams. This is our signal right here. Yeah, that's the signal. I think they have some big launches coming. We know Will is aware of some launches. We know the hackathon, the ETH hackathon, will probably be some of those launches. But ramping up onboarding more agent teams, especially those for trading, betting, yield farming, I would put a big emphasis on betting. Because we've seen trading and yield farming. Not a ton of betting so far. I think we'll see that. And I think we're about to see prediction markets ramp up again. Like, they haven't stopped, but again. So I think there's some launches coming to virtuals. I think they're giving us that sign here. They're very good about that too. They do give us a heads up. So be ready for that stuff. Partnerships happen. I'm not going to go over all these individual like team updates because they're all like good updates, but I'm waiting for the big needle move and stuff. Aristotle teaming up with Loki. Cool. This was cool. Not related to the virtual stuff, but just AI. This is pretty cool. This is an AI, character who's making music with Timberland, which is awesome. AI music, AI character. He's in the music video too. Like, freaking cool. This stuff will do everything we thought AI was going to do. It will do this. It will be that disruptive and changing, and it will. It will. Now, Creator Bid's coming up too. I will keep putting a focus more and more on Creator Bid. They're making some changes to their platform, and they're heading into, like, right now it's V2, V2.1. V3 is coming. And they made some changes here, right? So everybody can get in on these launches now. Holding X number of bid tokens gets you bigger allocations, which is cool. They're kind of moving away from the staking game, just like virtuals did. So there's taxes, I guess, when you sell that decreases the further you get from TGE. That's my understanding, which is cool. And then buy volume incentives. So ultimately, their last line, I think, is the most important. Reward the traders, not the stakers, which I like. You need volume. You need people trading. Otherwise, nobody's coming to the platform. So really, really good. Also, Phil, I think, founder at Creator Bid, also weighing in on the Binance thing and saying they paid a fee. It was lower than what they had to pay elsewhere. So also, I don't know if that was for Binance or Binance Alpha or whatever. But anyway, had some insights to share there. All right, let's look at the NFT market, because honestly, NFTs are quietly, I don't know if it's so quiet, but like turning into a thing we got to focus on again, which is awesome. Starting with, and I expect this is going to change drastically because farming on OpenSea is now done. But volume yesterday, I mean, a big day of sales, 33.7 mil. That is our best day of sales in, well, let's just say a couple weeks, but it's one of our bigger days here. Second half of this year. I mean, yeah, monster day of sales. 33.7 mil. Sellers way up, buyers way up, transactions up, average sale price barely down, and trade profits negative 716,000. It is people farming the end of the OpenSea season, whatever, 2, One, what, I don't know. But those chests are coming, man. As in, I think it might be today they're cracked open. I think. If so, and I'm not 100% if it's like today, but if so, we're gonna start seeing these tweets about I just want a CryptoPunk. I won $500,000. We're gonna see some big wins out there. Quickly, your top collections here in the past 24 hours. 45.com. Still looking like primary sale. DX terminal being farmed. You'll probably see this disappear from the charts. Unless this is people farming for a base token. I do think it's OpenSea farming, though. Pudgy Penguins, D-Market Moonbirds, Lil Pudgies, Guild of Guardian Heroes, Good Vibes Club, and then just peeking at what's below Bored Ape, Sorare, Genesis. On the 17th. Thank you, boss. Does the OS chest stuff ending cause that? Yeah, I imagine so, Cats. Yeah, because we even saw that $1.7 million ape sale 2 days ago. It was somebody, in one shot leveling up their chest. A lot of that volume's going away. Unless maybe they announce another season. I'm hoping, guys, because I, been in some group chats and people are saying, like what's coming after? Like, what is the point of the C token? Why would anybody hold it? Isn't everybody just going to dump the assets they win? And you would think yes. You would assume yes. 70% of those assets just going to get dumped, probably. But I just keep wondering if OpenSea is going to shock us with I don't think anybody has crazy expectations for the C token and it doing well. I'm wondering what if the thing we aren't expecting happens, which is massive payday for people. If these guys have all made it enough that they're actually time to give back, which is becoming rare. We get token drops that are great, right? But what if they go like that? Similar to like Hyperliquid. It can't be like that. That was different. That was very exclusive. And because it was so much smaller, you could give bigger rewards. But what if OpenSea does something crazy and it's just big time rewards? Yeah, TGE is going to be a while off still, I think. We're still it was supposed to be the first week or two of this month we get TGE details. Maybe that's going to be today when farming comes to an end. Maybe it's on. Boss is saying the 17th is when chests open. So maybe the 17th is when we get TGE details. Token probably isn't coming till like December. But what if? I'm just going to always say what if. And they have an opportunity. Just give all this money away and maybe you win over the good graces and you keep them. And let's see if they can repeat it then for another season. They might. I don't know how much money they've made. It's been a lot. Do they have that to work with? Can they, do this again? But here we go. They added another almost $3 million to the reward pool. $1 million of base ETH. Wow. $1 million of Coinbase wrapped Bitcoin, $800,000 in Sol, $11 million in rewards. So that's wave one. Okay. It's now what it's either over now or in like 2 hours where you're done leveling up your chest. So you're locked in at that level. Chests open in the next, let's just say chest will open in the next couple days. We'll see some big wins, which will be great. Yeah, I can't wait to see those wins. And it's really the TGE I'm looking forward to. I heard Joe, most of you guys know Joe, he was hoping for a big payday from farming back in the day, or I should say trading back in the day early on, right? And hoping that this ends up being like a 5-figure airdrop. I have a lot of trouble seeing that. A lot of trouble. Even we've had some checkers, right? We had some checkers that show your volume and whatnot. And look, it had me ranked pretty high. And I'm like, if it has me ranked high, like top 1,600, then either the checker doesn't work right or I don't know. I cannot, there will not be a 5-figure payday for, I think, anyone around my level. For the top dogs, like the Pranksies and those guys, absolutely. Coco, Pranksy, some of those big name 21, 22 traders, absolutely. But anybody else, I'm thinking $300 would be freaking amazing. There's hundreds of thousands of people that are going to get this stimmy. Couple $100, $200, $500, maybe being ranked 1,600 at that time on that tracker. It was showing 21, 22 trading volume. Maybe $1,000. Craziest scenario, maybe 1,500 too. I can't picture it though. A few $100, which is awesome. Anybody here expecting a big payday from OpenSea? Yeah, it's an easy number to see because 300 would surprise me. I would think that's a big payday for how many people are getting a token, and everybody's going to dump it too. What's the incentive to hold it? I hope they have one. A few $100 sounds like it's going to do well. Luna, is that tomorrow? The Meteora drop. That one is so interesting. Anyway, we'll see with OpenSea. Very curious. Now, announcement yesterday from Bored Apes. I don't totally get this, but also it's cool. Yuga Labs back with OpenSea. Okay, so Bored Apes or Yuga announcing that officially, or I should say, OpenSea's their official marketplace again. It never used to be, but they went to Magic Eden and said Magic Eden's our official marketplace. That's their official marketplace partner. These announcements don't mean anything if you go from one to the other to the other. I mean, what does it matter? Also, it doesn't stop you from trading on the other marketplaces too, right? But there's the announcement. OpenSea's on deck. It's just a partnership, right? It's more marketing. I'm sure they'll have some incentives, right? But does it mean anything beyond that? I don't think so. Good morning, sir. I don't think it means much, other than it's nice. I like OpenSea now. I like the change they've had over the past year a lot. Hang on, he does make some comments on royalties, so let me see. While today royalties are only supported for ERC 721C collections, heartened by OpenSea 2.0's drive to be more creator and community aligned. Good. Yeah. I mean, good. It's just good vibes. Hope OpenSea doesn't make us farm any drop to unlock it. Yes, I agree with you here. Yep, I'm with you. This should be. This is where I'm thinking OpenSea are back to being the good guys. I have a feeling it's going to be an airdrop instead of a claim. I think they're going to do everything right here, and it's just hopium. We got some Magic Eden news, and I'm pretty sure I know where they're going next, direction-wise. So, okay, to me, this is just the start. I think OpenSea is about to get very Magic Eden. I think it's about to get loud here again. It's also just another gut feel thing. I have a feeling. All right, so Magic Eden's getting into RWAs. We saw the success of Courtyard, and we saw, God, what's the other one that was really hot just a month ago? It wasn't Collect, right? What was that hot Solana coin? Got up in the hundreds of millions. What was that coin? It was RWAs, right? But like those work. Crack a pack, get a physical with backed by an NFT. That stuff works. People like it. And so Magic Eden getting in that game. Packs are coming to Magic Eden. And we'll see what's in them. It's probably going to be really similar to what OpenSea's doing right now with the reward chests or whatever. It's probably going to be packs that are sold that have NFTs in them. And you might get, a crappy NFT. You might get a punk. They're going to probably have punks that are in these packs. It'll do really well. NFT packs, RWA packs. It'll do pretty damn well. But there's a tweet from a little while ago too. God, I'm so stuck in tab hell, and now I can't find. Like, there's another tweet out here where somebody on Magic Eden was hinting at what's coming. They talk about new ways of playing with NFTs and betting on NFTs, and I put a big focus on bet. I've hinted at this a few times. Just understand the meta that's out there right now, and team members have been saying the word bet repeatedly. Magic Eden is going in a different direction. That's what I can tell. I have that feeling. It makes a lot of sense. You just can kind of see the direction they're going. They will be known for being, yes, NFT marketplace and fungible tokens and all that, but they'll have a whole other pillar here too. And it'll be something that, will be surprising. Also, it's a big pillar and a big meta narrative, whatever. It'll make sense. Can they compete though? And that's where I'm not sure, but they do have direction. And I do think we'll hear about that pretty darn soon. And I think they'll have some life to them. I don't think Magic Eden's done. I'll say it hasn't gone how I was thinking, though. I'm glad I'd sold my ME token. I think I swapped ME for Pengu even. And I think at this point that's worked out better. But yeah, I'm rooting for these guys. And I think they've got just big new stuff coming. So we'll see. We will see a couple last updates here. MetaMask partnering with Polymarket. That's pretty cool. Betting in app. It may not. It depends. It may not. What are you going to bet on that you can't bet on elsewhere? And what's your edge? What's the what's different about a Magic Eden prediction market, right? If it's like focused on, if they have markets around NFT collections, I think that might be fun. It's at least an interesting angle, but it's not like you can't spin up those markets elsewhere too. So yeah, we'll have to see. Luna, I think so, actually. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. So this, I just think it might be in-app markets. They'll be everywhere. So, not the craziest thing. They'll be everywhere. Now, this I thought was interesting. Myriad. Myriad's going to have perpetual sentiment markets. These are going to be markets polls that never end. I just look at it like live odd trading that never ends. And so you can just trade them at any time. And I think that's super interesting. Also, just like everything else I say, if it works, other people will copy it. But I like that. Sentiment markets, they just don't resolve. They just kind of trend up and down, and you can bet on them at different times. Bet on it when it's lower if you think sentiment's going to change and flip up. Like, I think we all have a good feel for the crypto markets, right? And sentiment. And wouldn't you take that bet after Friday? Wouldn't you maybe bet after Friday that sentiment, you could almost look at it like a greed fear index and being able to bet, the swings on that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I like this. You have like a couple of weeks to claim Mon, by the way, Choina. But it has been happening. You have time to claim still. I thought that was interesting, which is cool. Oh yeah, speaking of Mon, you can't ever get it perfect. I feel for guys out here who grinded away on, farming for a token. This dude, I'll take him in his word, but saying he grinded organic transactions on testnet, 2,800 transactions, minting NFTs, domain name staking, like using it. And he's not eligible. I think they might look at him like a Sybil farmer, which sucks. And I get it. Sometimes, like, usually when I see this kind of thing, and I at this point, I know from experience, you'll have people that did some organic stuff and also did some like inorganic stuff. I'm having been on the other side of it, I can just tell you, the teams they can see the volume. They can tell if there's inorganic things that have happened. That is a bummer because this guy put in time. That guy put in a lot of time to farm this drop and he gets nothing. That's crazy. That is a bummer. Do I even care about this? Yeah, whatever. Just a tweet about the founder of IP who scrubbed any mention of IP from his timeline. You guys remember that? The IP co-founder of IP left right after TGE. He might have just been required to scrub it. And then lastly, Mega ETH ICO coming this week. Pretty cool. ICO Beast take on the Monad thing. Yeah, probably that tweet. Let me just see. And by the way, this ties into earlier. It is what he's saying. Look, it's about to get fun here again. I'm pretty damn sure. Oh yeah, he's getting a big payday, which is funny. Interesting. Yeah. Anyway, this guy's great. As an end user, your options become enough of a liability that you get paid. Become tight enough with enough tastemakers, that you get paid. Make art and get tattoos and do not get paid. That's great. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Yeah, there's a middle. It's kind of like the Binance thing. There's just a middle ground and nothing's perfect and all that, right? Yeah. So, yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hey, let's quickly peek at the strategy tokens. It's a little quieter on that side, although I'll tell you, man, here, let's do two things. Let's look at floor prices and a quick peek at the strategy coins. I do not think that was a short-term meta. I think some of those are going to absolutely send. Look at Vibe's up to 0.8. You're getting, dude, there are some big names getting into good vibes because they're coming in the Discord and they're feeling out that it's very organic and it's got a great collector base. I mean, I'm pretty damn sure Vibes will be when we resume, when we get, spicy again. These are going to probably be, I'm assuming, around where Moonbirds are. Maybe not quite because maybe they're TGE's priced in, but Vibes will be like 1.5 ETH floor or something. Like they're going to be up there, and I still think they'll get to multiple ETH floor this cycle here. I would bet on that. I think we'll see them at 2+ ETH, maybe 3, but my bet would be 2+. Just at some point this cycle, they get to 2+. Just people love them too much, man. Just love them. Also, hang on, let me get off Genesis. I think Vibes are a smaller supply, right? Isn't it just under 7K? So it's not a 10K, and it does matter. Supply, yeah, 69, 68. Somebody burned one. So, yeah, smaller collection. Not tiny enough, but, if it were like 5, I don't know, maybe that's the sweet spot right there. I don't know. I think it's the perfect NFT collection of this cycle for sure. So good. Strategy tokens, Punkster, 105 mil, Vibester, 9.7. I love it here. It is holding up here really well. It did dip to like 7 yesterday. Wish I saw it and bought it. Pudgy strategy, 5, 8, 5. I mean, these all look fine. And I still see a really good opportunity in Painster. Honestly, in all of them. Cadence is going to slow down. I love that. They're not announcing them ahead of time, but Vibester's got the most upside here. I think that's really obvious. Yeah, I wish I caught this here. 7.7. I do like it where it's at right now. I do. I would not hate buying it right here. Yep. But I think that'd be just fine to buy it right there. I am pretty certain we'll see an all-time high in this in another few weeks. And then from there we'll head into price discovery again on this one. It's just got too much upside. When they buy back token, they burn token, it's going to get interesting. So yeah, I might buy more here. I like it. All right, fam. Spicy show, spicy update. Oh, damn it, dude. All right, hang on. Let's get to that. We will always get to the virtual stuff. Let's see. Ecosystem activity leaderboard. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if this is going to matter. Every unicorn launch allocates 5% of the supply to the virtuals community. Okay. Each week, a snapshot measures the virtual balances and ecosystem activity. Your contributions this week determine what you'll receive next week. Your contributions, what? Okay, this is the transition from points to this 3%. Only based on Butler and ACP usage. By the way, Butler users apparently ate with Monad. I saw a tweet from somebody on the virtuals team who said that, right? Because virtuals traders have gotten a Monad airdrop or claim, but they said it was Butler users who maybe get more. There was something there. So my thoughts on this. I don't love pushing people to Butler and ACP, but that is their product now. That is their main product. So it makes sense. And so they'll have a leaderboard that measures ranks how people use Butler and ACP. Okay, so the leaderboards to make that transparent. But I want to see, maybe I don't understand exactly what they're measuring. Measures their V virtual. I think there's an ACP score. Okay. So how much you're using ACP? You know what? Maybe I'm going to go check. Let me go check real quick. if I'm eligible. I have not even peeked yet. Dude, I hate clicking links, dude. I hope I don't have to connect a wallet. I hope I can just paste. All right, hang on. What do you guys think? Am I eligible or no? I don't think I have any NFTs that were eligible. And I saw there was a lot of FUD from Bored Apes. Out of all the NFT collections that were eligible, Bored Apes weren't. Ooh, my Dr. Emma Sage bags are up today. We'll take that. I really like them, man. They're great. Gravity wasn't eligible. Okay. All right, let me peek at mine. I pulled it off screen. I don't know why I do that too. I don't have to, but I always do. All right, let's see. Probably not going to be eligible. Except, okay, good lord. Not eligible. All right. It's nothing for me. We'll go through the other wallets later and we'll see. We'll see. But not eligible. Wah wah. Ape Scott, that's a great point, man. Right again. This is for Monad. And yeah, that's the Virtuals wallet. And I used Butler like 5 times, 3 times, whatever, you know. So, and I'm right there, Moonship. I just have any of these worked? I might want to bet on Mega ETH, but you know, have any of these? I was going to say, if any of these L2s mattered a ton, and some of them have at times, but I don't get the feels with Monad. Yeah, so far none of these virtual traders. I think it's virtual traders who used ACP heavily. I think it's very focused on I think Butler usage. So yeah, there we go. Oh boy. All right. What's today? Wednesday, tomorrow, Thursday. I will have an update for you guys soon about Baseball, right? With their ATM launch, them coming on the show. May not be this week. If not this week, it'll be next week. Some other guests coming up. I'm excited for. I'm really excited for maybe I'll see if I can get Grover on. I'm excited for some new launches and get some stuff cooking here again, right? In the meantime, it's just fun covering everything, man. I've missed it. You will see a much bigger, I've mentioned this before, you'll see a much bigger focus, not on everybody out there like we do right now, instead on the teams that are building with SlamAI data. And there's a lot of them. You've seen tweets and partnerships there. There's a lot more. And so we'll start having them on more, probably with separate streams too, to focus on their thing, their projects. Also, probably, I'll just spill like some of my thoughts here. Probably getting some of these guys on a panel and having other projects come and pitch their ideas to us, which would be a lot of fun. Get some builders up here and having projects come up for 1 minute, pitch your project. There's something there. I think there's something we're cooking on that front. So stay tuned for all that. So we'll be fun. Real quick on that, Nova. Hyperliquid, awesome. Absolute freaking love it. And because Luna's here, and because I actually agree with him, I think Lighter looks pretty special too. But Hyperliquid is like, with Pump Fun and Polymarket gonna, there's now a bunch, but I was gonna say one of the kings of this cycle. Hyperliquid, amazing. I like that, dude. The Slam Tank. That sounds super, something. I like it, the Slam Tank. I don't know, but I think that is exactly what's going to happen. I think we'll have multiple projects up here, vetting, whatever, getting pitched other projects, and then bringing them into a Slam something ecosystem. We'll hear more about that next week. Should be cool. Andrew, good morning, and goodbye. I love it. Anyway, hit the like on the show before you get out. Come over to CryptoSlam and subscribe over here. And most importantly, follow SlamAI_XYZ and get ready for some fun stuff starting next week, boys. There we go. All right. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, fam. Goodbye.